I think a massive upgrade just happened when it comes to VeChain, and that is how they recently upgraded the mainnet. So VeChain Thor version 2.4.3 is now live. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, but why does this even matter? It's because this quote-unquote mainnet, again, upgrade, it's focused on security, which I think, of course, really matters as of right now, especially for projects that have a heavy emphasis towards blockchain technology, because if we take a look at it, we all already kind of pretty much read up, right, recently, what quantum computing and maybe what that could pose towards blockchain technology. So of course, naturally, a lot of projects that I do see, they've been starting to post a little bit, right, about updates regarding security. But instead of talking, VeChain is doing, in a sense where if they recently upgraded their mainnet to VeChain Thor version 2.4.3 and how that's now live, that's doing. That's not only talking. Other projects out there, they're posting about security, but what are they really doing about it? We don't know. They say they're focused on it, but we just don't really know what they're doing. But VeChain, they're doing. That's the way to take a look at it, because could you imagine, again, having an upgrade, especially at a time like right now? I'm assuming it's probably going to be a little bit resource intensive, also time intensive, and also maybe requires a lot of, I guess, energy in their part. And that's especially difficult at a time like right now, when the market isn't doing the best. A bunch of other projects that I do see, granted they're not that massive, but I see quite a good amount of projects out there stop operations. As in, the team announced that they're done, basically. The ride's over. The roller coaster is done. Now the token is still around, but the team is just no more. Which, of course, is not the best thing. It's unfortunate in my opinion, but at the same time, at least some other projects out there are still thriving. They're still doing things despite the market downturn. They handled the downturn a little bit better, and some of them are still updating, upgrading, and some are not. But I still see VeChain upgrading, and I don't see the team announcing anything drastic like, oh, we're stopping operations. No, I don't hear any of that. So this is why when I take a look at something like this, I'm still a fan of what I'm seeing. I mean, VeChain, they have a partnership with the UFC, keep in mind. The UFC, I think, wouldn't just randomly partner up with something like VeChain if they didn't do their due diligence, if they didn't care about it that much. I don't think they would do that. Keep in mind, in a podcast or an interview or whatever, and I even talked about this in one of my previous videos, the CEO of the UFC, Dana White, says that he only holds VeChain, by the way, which is surprising because one would assume, oh, maybe he holds Bitcoin or Ethereum, but apparently no, apparently only just VeChain, from what I can understand. Now, would him believing in VeChain automatically make me believe in it? No, because I believed in VeChain before I even heard him make that announcement, but I'm just saying, it was just something I thought that was pretty cool. Furthermore, if I take a look at VeChain, people like to say, well, no one really cares about this nonsense. It's primarily focused on supply chain management. Who cares? Well, I'm pretty sure that some businesses do care because historically I've seen partnerships like PricewaterhouseCoopers when it comes to VeChain. I've seen Deloitte. And keep in mind, Deloitte and PwC, or should I say PricewaterhouseCoopers, they're two out of the big four accounting firms. So that's pretty massive. Just straight off the bat right there. It's pretty massive in my opinion. And also furthermore, I've seen VeChain have a partnership with H&M. Historically speaking, that's pretty massive as well. Not to mention, VeChain, I've seen a partnership with BMW. So it's not like VeChain is lacking in terms of partnerships. It's actually pretty impressive. It's just not doing the best. It's currently ranked 72nd in the world in terms of market cap when it comes to VET, its native token, or should I say its primary native token. However, people like to say, well, if it has such amazing partnerships, why are the charts so low? Well, it's because no matter what VeChain does, it just wouldn't really go on an independent rally of its own because first of all, it's a little bit massive in terms of size. It's a top 100 project, so it can't really do much if the market sentiment doesn't really change in any significant way. It's not a microcap. If a microcap has like a 100,000 market cap, okay, if it has just like a pretty decent amount of volume and it suddenly goes to like a 500,000 market cap, that's already like a 5 times movement. But if that same amount of volume went into VeChain, it wouldn't really do much. Keep in mind, VET's current market cap is slightly under 600 million. Even if like there was an added extra 1 million, it wouldn't even move the market cap like 1%, right? If let's say we added 1 million to the market cap of VeChain's primary native token called VET, it wouldn't move that figure by 1%. It wouldn't even be 1%. That's the thing. So when I take a look at just by nature VeChain, it just wouldn't really be able to do much if the market sentiment doesn't change overall. So it's not like it's the only one having a pullback. A bunch of projects are also having a pullback. But given that condition, given those parameters, if a bunch of projects are having a pullback, like random memes I've never heard of, random projects I've never heard of, if those are also having a pullback and also VeChain, then of course I'm not going to be focusing on the ones I've never heard of, right? I'm going to be focusing on the ones that I'm a fan of, which in this case is VeChain. Now, do I only hold VeChain? No. But at the same time, I just still like what I'm seeing and I just don't want to give up. When it comes to the price charts, sure, it's not doing the best, but I could take a look at this in a glass half full type of approach. But because it's almost 10 times lower than where it was not too long ago in terms of market cap, it's to the point that, okay, if VET maybe never reaches like almost a 5.5 billion market cap ever again, which we almost saw in December of 2024, it almost reached 5.5 billion. If VET never goes back to that point, let's just say VET goes to around half of that, and let's say we're around 5 times lower than half of where it was not too long ago. If that was the case, even like a 5 times movement would already be like a go in a sizzler type of moment, let alone if it went back to around a 5.5 billion market cap. That's the thing, because we are below 600 million in terms of market cap. So at the same time, my perspective is when it comes to VeChain, I see no reason for me to give up because a bunch of projects as of right now are having a pullback. Even Bitcoin's having a pullback. So it's not like it's only just VeChain, or should I say VET, its primary native token. So the thing is, if let's say in a random hypothetical, Bitcoin could only just go back to where it was slightly over a year ago, and also let's say VET could only just do that, keep in mind, VET is under 10 times lower than that, right? But Bitcoin is not even 3 times lower than where it was slightly over a year ago. It's just not. So if I was only able to choose one of the two, and given the parameters that they can only just go back to where they were slightly over a year ago, I don't know why I would choose Bitcoin in that specific scenario. I'm still a fan, of course, of what Bitcoin is, but at the same time, when I take a look at VET, I can't deny that it is down quite a lot, which may sound counterintuitive. How is that a good thing? Some people like to say, but if something is kind of low, the journey sometimes is a little bit far or farther. In some cases, comparatively speaking, to if let's say VET held up a lot better, then maybe the journey back to around a 5.5 billion market cap wouldn't be that impressive. But just because it's so low, if it just goes back to that point, it's already like a go in a sizzler type of moment, because I don't think December of 2024 was an altcoin season. But just because VET is so low as of right now, it's to the point that if it could just even go back to that, it feels a little bit like an altcoin season already, just because it's down by that much. But that's my point anyways, because I'm looking to dollar cost average, so I have no complaints as of right now. However, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but I'll be sure to make more updates when it comes to VeChain moving forward, so hopefully y'all stay tuned for that. I want to say thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Lee the Captain. I'm out. Peace. Bye.